Now, Gen Z is widely considered the demographic that shunned traditional cigarettes in favour of the dreaded vape. But there are growing concerns that the trend could be reversing.
Once upon a time, you couldn't move for anti-smoking ads.
When we were young, we were stupid.
I wish I'd quit when I said.
Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Between the health campaigns, the rising costs and the explicit packaging, Australia saw a sharp decline in the rate of daily smokers.
There's never going to be a perfect time to quit.
But the campaigns don't seem as common or as urgent as they once did.
Gen Z, they were little kids if they were even born when that campaign was going, and so we can't just assume they've been educated in the same way as millennials or Gen Xers and boomers.
Gen Z has traditionally been seen as the generation with no interest in the cigs, with vaping seen as their vice of choice. But reports suggest the tide may be turning, with regular cigarettes seen as retro and nostalgic.
Yes, most of the people I know who smoke traditional cigarettes.
There are a lot of people that smokes traditional cigarettes.
They started with vapes and then used cigarettes to learn how to quit vapes.
While regular cigarettes are on the decline with 15 to 24-year-olds, those who report using both regular cigarettes and e-cigarettes are on the rise.
They are a generation who are an immediate generation. They're all about the now. So we need to think about messaging that will get them understanding the immediate impact of their behaviours, not just the long-term impacts.
My generation doesn't have as much awareness of the dangers of smoking as I think they should.
I think they just don't care about it.
So is it time to bring back the old campaigns and ensure the next generations understand the danger?
Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Professor Emily Banks is a public health physician and epidemiologist at the ANU. Now, Emily, you're the researcher, so what is the data telling you?
So the data are telling us that smoking is going down in Gen Z, but at the same time, vaping is going up. And what we have is overall increases in nicotine product use in those groups by more than 60% in the age group 12 to 17, and also increases in the age group 18 to 24.
Why do you think this is happening?
Well, Gen Z is a really important age group for the tobacco industry and for the nicotine industry, because if you want lifetime customers, you've got to get them addicted as teenagers. So we see these products being aggressively targeted at young people. We see that e-cigarettes or vapes are being targeted by having really bright colours, flavours, heaps of marketing on social media, lots of influencers. And then tobacco companies are also trying all different methods to get in with Gen Z. They can't do a lot of things because of the advertising restrictions, but what they can do is things in films, and they really use every means that they can. So this kind of nostalgia for the 90s, all these different things that mean that they can get in with Gen Z.
I feel in the media, vapes kind of burst onto the scene and they were seen as this solution to smoking, right? It's like you get off the cigarettes, you take up vaping. Now, with this latest push, I guess, the demonisation of vapes, do you think that could push people back to cigarettes?
So I think we need to think about these things all together. It's absolutely true. These companies bring these products into the market and they say, look, this is really great for quitting smoking, but actually all the time they're marketing them to young people. And then we've got young people who are addicted to nicotine and they are at risk of taking up smoking. We actually know that young people who use e-cigarettes or vape are 3 times as likely to go on to smoke as young people who don't use vapes. So we have to make sure that we really support young people who are addicted to nicotine to quit, and we need to make sure that we keep the pressure up on smoking. In fact, we know that if we take our foot off the accelerator when it comes to smoking and tackling it, that we can really go backwards. So we have to keep going forwards on all of those fronts.
Professor, what kind of marketing would work, though? I mean, could we solve this if we just made really uncool people smoke? Like if we made a rule that like the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition had to smoke 2 cigarettes a day and upload a TikTok dance or something, like would that see smoking plummet even further?
Well, look, I think the thing is we are up against an absolutely terrible predatory industry that has been refining its tactics for 50 years. So we have to really work as hard as them to come up with the countermeasures. The countermeasures do include reducing supply, but there are amazing advertising campaigns, and actually Gen Z can help us here because they know better than anybody what appeals to them. So I think we do have to work together. We could have uncool people smoking, but I think you'd have to check with Gen Z as to whether that would have an impact for them.
Professor Banks, thanks for your time.
Thank you.